Right now at noon, felony charges are filed to a man whose high-speed crash launched him 75 feet into the woods.
And we're looking at a good chance of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, likely severe. We'll tell you all about that in the forecast.
Plus, about 5,600 workers from 38 locations across 20 states will join the 13,000 workers at 3 Midwest plants who kicked off the strike last week.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. In today's top story, a Jeep collided with a horse trailer, then caught fire in Seneca this morning. At about 2:45 a.m., Friday reports of a Jeep on fire and overturned horse trailer at Bethel Road and Highway U alerted Newton County Central Communications. On scene, we learned from Seneca Police Officer Chris Whitehead the Jeep was traveling east on Highway U when a northbound truck and horse trailer on the Bethel Road failed to yield, crossing into the path of the Jeep. The horse trailer overturned with 2 horses inside, and the Jeep caught fire. The 52-year-old female driver of the Jeep was transported to Freeman West with non-life-threatening injuries. 2 horses were rescued from the overturned gooseneck trailer. They appeared to not suffer any major injuries. However, there was not a veterinarian on site. They were transported into another trailer that arrived. No one in the pickup suffered any injuries. In a crash on Mo 60 between a vehicle and a tractor trailer claims the life of a woman in Granby. At about 3:15 p.m. Wednesday, reports of a tractor trailer and passenger car colliding on Mo 60 east side of town near the ball fields alerted Newton County Central Dispatch. On scene, we learned from Corporal Jason Deno of the Granby Police Department that a southbound passenger vehicle pulled out of Old Mill Road onto Mo 60 and was T-boned by a tractor trailer. The adult female driver died in the collision. The tractor trailer driver was not injured. Deno tells us a next of kin were notified. However, the woman's name is not being released at this time. She is a Granby area resident, however. Granby Fire worked traffic, which was delayed to 1 lane in about 2 hours during the crash investigation. Felony charges are filed to a man who crashed Tuesday running 75 feet deep into the woods long after Carl Junction police had terminated the pursuit. A story we brought you first on KOAM's Shannon Becker was live from the scene at County Road 290 and Kaffir Road. Now, a warrant for felony arrest has been issued for the driver of that vehicle, Corbin Mitchell Radley of Carl Junction. He is facing charges of domestic assault and felony resisting arrest by fleeing in a vehicle and creating a substantial risk of serious physical injury or death to any person. Carl Junction Police filed a probable cause affidavit describing what occurred, stating, quote, at 2:06 p.m. on Tuesday, September 19th, Corbin Mitchell Radley assaulted his wife at a residence in Carl Junction. As police units arrived on scene, Radley got into his car, pulled out of the driveway, and sped off, violating a stop sign. The 2 police units pursued briefly but terminated after observing that the vehicle traveling at or near 100 miles per hour on a county road with a speed limit of just 45. They continued to track the car, locating it at County Road 290 and Kaffir, where the defendant had lost control, violated another stop sign, and crashed into a wooded area and overturned. The vehicle was launched 75 feet deep into the woods when it finally came to a stop.
All right, we're watching some showers and thunderstorms on radar right now, mainly in northeastern Oklahoma, affecting Ottawa County, also Craig County, and also Nowata County. This is basically moving to the east-southeast, so folks in southern Craig County and eventually down in Delaware County and also McDonald County in southwestern Missouri are going to see this complex of storms. As far as any severe weather right now, none of these storms that we're looking at are severe at this point in time, just some gusty winds. Looks like they're on the northwestern side of Ottawa County and northeastern Craig County, right in this area here. That's going to be moving towards southwestern parts of Ottawa County. But again, these are not severe. We're going to have to wait till tomorrow before the chance of severe weather really dramatically increases for our area, with all threats possible, including possibility of tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds, and certainly some very heavy rainfall, looking at some of the latest data coming in. Of course, we'll have all the details on that coming up in weather in just a little bit. Stay with us and we'll keep you advised on anything that goes severe this afternoon. Back to you, Caitlin.
Thanks, Sam. The 24th annual Rock and Mineral Show is happening now at the Joplin History and Mineral Museum. Participants can come select and crack their own geodes, get their mysterious rock identified, and even pursue handmade jewelry, sculpture, and much more with fellow rock hunters and hobbyists. We hear from the curator of Joplin History and Mineral Museum about this weekend's Rockin' Good Time.
It started back in last century when I'd first come to work here, and one of the things you wanted to do was to organize a gem and mineral club. Well, after about a year of that going on, the club wanted to start having a rock show here in Joplin, because years and years ago we had one, but that kind of died away.
Sunday from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. And that's a look at today's top stories and weather in the 4 states region. Up next on the KOAM News at Noon. 1,000 more auto workers are joining the picket lines on the 8th day of the UAW strike. We'll have the latest details. And later, we're making Sloppy Joe meatball sandwiches in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. Stay tuned. The United Auto Workers strike just got bigger. The union's president called for workers at 38 locations in 20 states to walk off the job today. Chris Van Cleve is at Ford plant in Wayne, Michigan with the latest.
Strong! Union! Strong! Union! Strong!
Thousands more auto workers are joining the picket lines on the 8th day of the UAW strike.
Reinforcements are coming.
The union's president, Shawn Fain, says negotiations with Ford are moving in the right direction, but that's not the case with General Motors and Chrysler parent Stellantis.
All of the parts distribution facilities at General Motors and Stellantis are being called to stand up and strike.
That includes about 5,600 workers from 38 locations across 20 states. They'll join the nearly 13,000 workers at 3 Midwest plants who kicked off the strike last week.
When you lose production at those plants, that's when things at General Assemblies go down. That's when, the whole system falls apart. So this is a huge escalation in terms of work stoppage.
Striking union members say they're in it for the long haul.
We'll take as long as we have to. If they're willing to come back and negotiate, we'll be ready at any time.
Automakers have seized on what appear to be some leaked messages outlining the union strategy obtained by the Detroit News here in town that seem to indicate the union is planning for a long and costly strike. Automakers say the strike's ripple effects force temporary layoffs of roughly 3,000 others whose work depends on the closed plants. Now, with the strike expanding, those kinds of ripple effects are expected to increase. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Wayne, Michigan.
Carmakers say every auto manufacturing job creates 10.5 other jobs. And Congress is facing a hard deadline to pass a spending bill, or there will be a government shutdown. But House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is struggling to build consensus within the House GOP ranks, as some of the rights don't like the direction that it's headed. Natalie Brand has more details from Capitol Hill.
Most members of the U.S. House left the Capitol for the weekend, even though they have just 8 days left to reach and pass a spending deal to keep the government open. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy expressed his frustration after hard-right Republicans, for a second time, blocked debate on a bill to fund the Pentagon.
This is a whole new concept of individuals that just want to burn the whole place down. That doesn't work.
The stalemate means Congress may have to pass a short-term continuing resolution to fund the government. But even that is facing opposition from some conservatives.
We've been doing CRs for 25 years or longer, and it works the same way, lather, rinse, repeat.
We should not fear a shutdown in the sense that we hurt the American people further to avoid a shutdown, which would have minimal impact if we just had a shutdown for a week or two while we're getting our spending bills done.
With Congress in gridlock, the Biden administration is sending notices to federal agencies to begin preparations for a possible shutdown.
We still remain hopeful, although the writing's on the wall.
Everett Kelly, the president of the American Federation of Government Employees, says his members are once again on edge.
One paycheck, not arriving on time could mean, hey, I got to go borrow money from somebody. I got to get in debt. I got to find some way to provide food for my family.
With Democrats in control of the Senate and narrow margins in both chambers, the ultimate solution will have to be bipartisan. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
We'll be right back with more after this. Sam weather.
Well, we're going to be looking at the showers and thunderstorms moving across our area this afternoon and also the severe weather potential for this weekend. Stay tuned because weather is next. All right, let's take a look right now at Seneca, Missouri, at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. You can look back to the south and west. Some scary looking clouds there with those scattered showers and storms. Nothing severe at this point in time, but that's going to be changing over the next 24 hours. Right now on live radar, you can see the storms over southern Ottawa County now moving to northern parts of Delaware County, extending back towards Veneta in Craig County, all the way back into Nowata. This is all moving to the south-southeast. Lots of heavy rain across eastern Kansas and southwestern Missouri this afternoon, taking a little bit closer in view. You can see a little bit of a donut hole here south of Fairland. So we're watching this area very, very closely in case anything gets out of hand. What has gotten out of hand is the rainfall, especially in eastern parts of Jasper County this morning, where radar estimates of 7 inches occurred there in that region just to the east of Carthage. A widespread area of 3 to 4 inch amounts across our region in the northeastern part of the metro this morning. So we definitely need the rainfall to help break the drought. We just don't need it all at once. But we're going to spread it out a little bit over the next 36 hours. Temperatures right now are in the 70s and even 60s, where it's rain-cooled air up in Nevada with 68. Meanwhile, it's 80 in Neodesha and in Parsons and 82 warmer degrees out there in Sedan. Rain chances are going to be, for the most part, low right now this afternoon, but then increasing as we go through the day tomorrow, and the storms tomorrow are likely going to be severe. In fact, let's take a look at the upper flow. You can see here comes the cold front moving in from the west, and with all the ingredients in place, we have to be concerned about the threat of severe weather stretching all the way from eastern Nebraska, western Iowa, right through our 4-state area, down into northeastern Oklahoma. Then on Sunday, that sweeps by, and we're left with cooler and drier air coming in behind that system for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. But first, we have to get through the severe weather, and that is going to be over our entire area tomorrow. So we are under an alert day tomorrow, with the slight risk of tornadoes, moderate risk of large hail and high winds, and a very high risk of heavy rainfall with that system. How much rain? Looking at some of the latest data, look at the rainfall of forecast accumulations. Almost 5 inches in some locations tomorrow with that heavy rain as we moves across our region tomorrow evening and into Sunday morning, and a large area of at least 2 inches of rain, which again is helpful for the drought situation. Just don't need the severe weather. But we'll keep an eye on it for you. Be sure you download the KOAM app, and also make sure that you subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. And if you click the bell, you can get alerted whenever we are streaming live on YouTube. So definitely do that. Temperatures this afternoon are going to rebound into the lower 80s, especially out towards the west. Then as we go into tomorrow morning, we're going to see spotty showers, mainly to the east, with lows in the 60s to around 70 degrees. Strong south winds during the day tomorrow is going to help us warm up into the mid to upper 80s. And the warmer it gets, the stronger the storms are going to be. Then by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, here comes the thunderstorms, likely severe. And then, of course, more rounds of showers and storms as we go through the evening hours with temperatures in the 70s. And then a big blob of rain and showers and storms into the overnight and early morning hours. And then by Sunday morning, all of that shifts toward the east with temperatures in the 60s to around 70 degrees. And then as we go into the next 7 days, we're looking at, again, alert day tomorrow with a good chance of severe thunderstorms. And then, of course, on Sunday, we start to dry out a little bit by evening. But then look at Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Nice. Temperatures in the lower 80s, and then another round of showers possible on Thursday morning. But temperatures at least are going to be normal, with highs in the 80s and lows around 60 degrees. So it's definitely important for everyone to be paying attention tomorrow to the weather situation as we are under an alert day. Caitlin?
Wow, Sam. And we can hear the thunder right now, and lightning is just striking all around us as we speak.
So if you're out driving today, just take it easy out there.
All right. Yes, drive carefully and stick around because we're making Sloppy Joe meatball sandwiches in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. It's time to check in with Howard and the Mr. Food Kitchen staff. Today he's making a hearty, saucy, and totally delicious dish that'll take you on a trip down memory lane. It's called Sloppy Joe meatball sandwiches. Take a look.
The other day I was doing a bit of research to see if I could find out who invented the Sloppy Joe sandwich. I was wondering, was there really a guy named Joe who was so sloppy they named the sandwich after him? The more I looked, the more confused I got. The only thing that was consistent is it's a sandwich made with ground beef mixed with tomato sauce and served on a hamburger bun. So to take this all-time classic to new heights, watch what we do. We start by sauteing some onions and peppers in a bit of vegetable oil until tender. To that, we add a can of Sloppy Joe sauce, some water, and brown sugar. After it's mixed, it's time to beef it up. Rather than adding traditional ground beef, we'll add frozen meatballs that we cut in half. The meatballs make this a bit chunkier and gives you something to bite into, while the sauce brings back all those memories from your school cafeteria. When you serve this up in a roll, it's one of those recipes your family will want you to add to your weekly dinner routine. It's that good. To get the recipe for our Sloppy Joe meatball sandwiches, all you have to do is visit our website. Now, we may never know who the real Sloppy Joe was, but let me show you the way this was meant to be eaten. Keep your hips back and your arms positioned like this. Then just go for it. I'm Sloppy Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a sloppy but tasty way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
To find this recipe, along with many others, just head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com and click on Mr. Food. Now here's a look at your 4th State Market prices.
All right, we're looking at a heavy rainfall event as we go into tomorrow night into Sunday morning with scattered showers and storms likely going to be severe. And then if we take a look at the forecast today, we're going to see partly cloudy skies later with highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s. And then as we go into tonight, mostly fair with lows near 70. And then tomorrow, here comes the next round of severe weather across our area. So you definitely need to stay tuned and pay attention to the weather situation tomorrow. Caitlin?
All right. Thank you so much, Sam. Well, coming up tonight at 5, Democratic New Jersey Senator Robert Mendez and his wife are accused of accepting thousands of dollars in bribes and step right up and be transported through generations of performances. Meet the Portugal Family Circus. Join us for those stories and more on KOAM News at 5. And that'll do it.